Emilio, the honey badger, Urrutia!
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Honey Badger Hour podcast. It's your boy, the Badger, and we are back. Thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe on the little notification bell below to keep you up to date whenever we have new podcasts, new breakdowns, and drops on the channel. What's going on, y'all? It's 2025 is officially here. Let's go, Honey Badger Hour Army. We are back. 2025, first day of the year. We are out here dropping pods within the first 12 hours of the first day. No rest for the wicked, guys. We are out here grinding. It's good to be back. Appreciate all the love and support coming off of another fantastic 2024. And now we are coming back with the realest and illest. 2025 is going to be better than ever. God bless you all. I hope everybody is having a great time. Hope you didn't get too messed up last night on New Year's Eve. We are out here doing the do like a kangaroo. Who is ready for the best year in 2025, y'all? I'm telling you right now, 2025 might be the best year for the MMA, might be the best year in UFC history. Who knows? I cannot wait. We got some crazy title fights to start the year off right away. It's good to be back, guys. Keep training hard. It's the new year. It's the end of the year. Whatever you guys are seeing this, let's just remember, okay? It's the best time to be alive right now, all right, guys? Whether we had a terrible year last year and now's the year to bounce back and kick this mother right in the balls and come back with a vengeance like Die Hard 2, or if we had an amazing year 2024, well then this is the year to scale up and do even better and tackle bigger mountains, tackle greater heights, greater obstacles, because of all the amazing obstacles you did in 2024, it just levels you up to get better and better for 2025. What's going on, y'all? Are you ready? There's got a lot of big things coming up, guys. We're starting off the year with Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan in a rematch. Two of the absolute best lightweight grapplers in the UFC division are throwing down toe-to-toe January 18th. Okay, and then in the undercard, in our co-main event, we got an even just as good as a banger of a fight for the Bantamweight title. You know the Bantamweights don't stop. Don't blink when the Bantamweights are throwing down in the UFC. We got Merab Dvalishvili taking on the up-and-comer, the phenom, Umar Nurmagomedov, okay? Carrying the famous Nurmagomedov name. Khabib will be in the corner. He's got 3 fighters coming up that night. Right now, the hot sheets, YouTube is being fooled with all types of Khabib videos, you know what I'm saying? Khabib training Islam. But guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm tired of YouTube, bro. I'll tell you what, guys. One thing we're never going to do with the Honey Badger Hour is we're going to give you no clickbait ass, fake ass thumbnails, all right? Every day I go on YouTube and it says, Khabib is really mad with Islam over training. It's like, bro, I don't know who is writing these articles, who is getting us, but they get me every time. Every time they get me to clickbait. Those sons of bitches, all right? This guy is literally joking around, and people, they take it, they clip it, they thumbnail it, and they get a bunch of views off of it. So I guess that's the society we live in, guys. We're out here in the attention-capturing society, so it ain't even got to be true. It just got to be exciting. That's the world we live in, guys. Where what you say ain't even got to have any factual evidence behind it. It's just got to be entertaining and clickable. And everybody wants to see it. So, unbelievable, guys. What are you going to do? What do you guys think? Is Islam... I'm trying to open up my damn phone so I can look at our topics that we have for today. Man, is Islam Makhachev going to be able to get the job done against Arman and defend his title? This will be his... So what? This will be his... He fought 2 Volkanovski fights, Dustin Poirier fight, right, guys? Who else? Am I missing anybody? Dustin Poirier and 2 Volks. This will be his 3rd. Oh, snap. Yo, Islam Makhachev is coming into some serious territory now. Coming in for his 4th title defense, I want to say. Let's double check, guys. All right, got the computer right here. All right, let's double check for the... So I think Islam is coming in with his 4th title defense. All right, taking on up-and-comer, a guy that he already beat This is how good Islam is, guys. Islam is making laps around the lightweight division. And one of the most stacked divisions in the UFC, but it's getting stacked. But I'll tell you what, I did see an interesting video the other day, right? I saw a video about Khabib was talking about the lightweights in the UFC and that there's time for a new era, right? So Arman is a new breed of UFC lightweight, but man, Dustin Poirier, Alexander Volkanovski, Charles Oliveira. So this is going to be Islam's fourth title defense, all right? And then how many did Khabib have? Khabib had 2 or 3. Wait, Khabib fought Justin Gaethje, and Khabib fought one more, right? No, just Justin Gaethje? Who did Khabib fight? Dustin Poirier, and yeah, so Khabib had a few also, but yeah, Islam Makhachev is going into that contender territory. He wins this fight, and he definitely makes himself a statement. He definitely states a claim to go up to welterweight. Guys are saying Islam's big, all right? Guys are saying that he can make light. They're saying that he can do welterweight. They're saying some people are saying he can do middleweight, which is absolutely insane. But he's known for training heavier, bigger fighters, right? So big ups to Islam. I'm excited to see that fight. I cannot wait, guys. Don't sleep on Arman. Arman is more confident than ever. All right, he is Armenian, and they're going to be fighting in California, which is like very Armenian strong place. So he said he's going to be having a lot of fans out there. So it should be exciting times, guys. On some other news, though, there is some more bullshit happening. You know, I know last year, I'll tell you what, 2024, what I want to see less of, less influencer fights, more real fights, anything with as little Paul brothers as possible, and I think would be a surplus for the MMA community right now. But it looks like they are trying to stir their way back into relevance, okay? What's that word? They're trying to stroke their way, they're trying to float their way back into relevance, okay? There is word on the street about a Logan Paul taking on Conor McGregor. 2 guys that are looking like a little bit of a money grab. Logan Paul seems to be taking all these crazy fights. He fought a Mayweather, now he's going to fight a Conor McGregor. Kind of crazy that anything with a Paul, you can get your name you can get a hold of some of the biggest fighters in the sport, so hopefully that shit show does not happen. And if it does, the scary thing about that, guys, imagine if Logan Paul drops Conor McGregor or puts him down or something like that. It's just like, oh my God. A Conor McGregor that's been partying for the last 3 or 4 years, right? It wouldn't even be like a Schmidt, like a small percentage of the old Conor McGregor, right, guys? What are we thinking here? What kind of Conor McGregor is going to show up to fight Logan Paul? Is he even going to train? Is he going to take that seriously? Conor McGregor taking on Logan Paul. Let's watch that. Somebody make that fight. Said nobody ever. All right, so please to the fight gods. Hey, listen, you know what? I'm not even going to wish it doesn't happen, but I'm going to do my best not to watch it. It'll be hard to do because it's hard not to watch train wrecks, right? That's one of the best things about a train wreck. A lot of the things we're watching today, it's like either going to be an amazing fight or you just want to see the shit show that it becomes, right? Oh my God, was Logan Paul Dylan this guy this year? Oh my gosh. So Logan Paul's hurt. Yeah, I mean, I remember after watching that fight, I was like, yo, I never want to see an influencer fight ever again. But it looks like they're thinking they're coming back into the zeitgeist. So that will be an interesting one. Some exciting news, guys. There's going to be a big year for jiu-jitsu, all right, for combat jiu-jitsu, for sport grappling, competition grappling. We got Craig Jones Invitational 2 is coming back. And also, one that I'm the most excited about, somebody that I've been going on a deep dive in all week long, watching, studying again, going back to the basics, back to the roots, Marcelo Garcia, the greatest no-gi submission grappler of all time, 4-time ADCC winner with the most submissions in Abu Dhabi history, in ADCC history, is back. He retired from competition about 5 or 6 years ago, was just focusing on running his gym, having a school, and unfortunately, he got sick, all right? Marcelo Garcia, he got cancer. It was like a really big shock for the jiu-jitsu community, but it was great to see everybody pull together. He's a world champion. He's a fighter at heart. He never gave up. He was super positive the whole way through. I think he made the announcement when he was already like almost I mean, I don't even think they made any big fuss about it. It was brought up a little bit, but he said that he was going to be fighting it, and now he's cancer-free, in remission for a little bit now, and he's got the competition bug is back. Ladies and gentlemen, the near-death experience, unfortunately, you know, like the sad thing that happened to him is what kind of maybe I just heard an interview with him recently, which was really good. He was talking about how, you know, having cancer kind of makes you appreciate what you have, you know, when you can see how close things could be any day to ending. So we just got to be grateful, right? Tomorrow's in the future. The past is in the history, and all we got is the present. That's why it's a gift, right? That's why all we got is today, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present time. It's literally the only moment that really matters. So he is back, okay? I cannot wait. Marcelo Garcia, he's one of the most dynamic finishers in submission grappling history. A lot of my game is based around him. My coach coming up, his favorite grappler was Marcelo Garcia, so I know he emulated and showed us a lot of the same techniques and movement. So I'm really blessed that my coach was such a Marcelo Garcia fan and avid and like a student of the game for him, that he taught that down to us. So a lot of my game is very Marcelo-esque. Okay, a lot of my open guard and stuff like this. So, man, one of the best open guards, sweeps, submissions, rear naked chokes. Okay, if you guys see a lot of the Danaher DVDs and stuff like this, a lot of that is just regurgitated Marcelo Garcia. Well, not regurgitated, right? Because it's not like, I'm sure they're both from New York. They probably all have this. At the end of the day, it all comes from the same place, right, guys? So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, martial arts, it all stores from one spot. So that's the interesting thing about Jiu-Jitsu and grappling, right? There's like no move is somebody's move, right? Like you can have a move and you can have a way to do it, but it's all been done before. It's all regurgitated information, right? And I guess nowadays it's just a matter of how you're able to articulate the same information, but you can explain and cut the cheese many different ways, right? So there's a few different ways to cook the recipe, right, guys? And still get it. So it's still potatoes, but you can get mashed potatoes, you can get whipped potatoes, you can get baked potatoes, you can get French fries. You know what I'm saying? You can get a sweet potato casserole, all right? You can get potato salad. So one potato, many ways to eat it. And it's the same thing with martial arts, same thing with jiu-jitsu. But good to see the GOAT is back. Marcelo Garcia, I was listening. He had a super interesting conversation. He had a really popular, prominent gym in New York, but after the pandemic, with all the things that happened to New York, they got so out of whack and things got so crazy and they were shut down for so long that he made the decision to move to Hawaii with his family. And then when the pandemic ended, after the pandemic ended, he came back to New York, but his family and himself had already been so adjusted to Hawaii and fallen in love with it and the nature and the life. I'm sure that after coming back to New York for a little bit, they couldn't go. They couldn't, I guess after having a taste of Hawaii, you can't go back to the city life. So they went back to Hawaii. He opened up a gym there. He's talking about how his main concern is opening up his gym there and really making a gym for the community there, like blowing it up, making it a popular gym, having guys to train with. And I don't know if you guys know about this, but one of Garcia's most famous traits being known for as a competitor is a lot of guys in the jiu-jitsu community, right? Early on, like I want to say, guys started to cross-train, right? Like high-level guys started to cross-train with each other to help each other level up. So a lot of times they'd have these big Abu Dhabi camps or Mundial camps or Worlds camps, okay? And you get a lot of the best guys who all come in with each other to train and prepare for these tournaments. You have like 10, 20, 15 world championship black belts on the mat, just getting it after it every day against each other, you know, breaking bread together, blood, sweat, and tears in these ruthless training camps to prepare for an upcoming tournament. But Marcelo Garcia was very known for and was very popular for, and has always been something that a lot of people say only a few people can get away with is Marcelo was known for doing ADCC, competing in all these tournaments, but also only training at his gym with his students. This guy is a self-trained world champion. He says that all of his training, everything he does is with his students. That's how he learns. That's how he grows. And that he doesn't need to cross-train or do anywhere else, that he can push and use his. And it's actually one of my favorite mentalities as a coach was, because he always said that his mentality is not to like go train other places. His mentality was always, as a coach, is to make his students, his training partners, and bring him to the level of him so that he can train with them and they can push him to prepare as well. So just very, what do you want to say, like pretty gangster and very, I don't know. One of my favorite things about him as a coach, showing like, hey, listen, I already have all the information here. I know how to win, and I can do it with my students. So proving that, going against the grain a little bit, because from what most people say is like iron sharpens iron. If you wanna fly high, what do they say? You gotta be with the eagles. If you wanna soar high, you gotta fly with the birds, or all those like sayings and stuff like this. Where Marcelo's like, yo, I train my students and I push myself, and that's where he gets a lot of his motivation from. So cannot wait. He's going to be... The only bad thing about that thing now is that Marcelo signed to ONE FC after Mike Musumeci and a bunch of guys have had like a little bit of a thing with ONE FC where they were kind of leaving and trying to get away from there. Like a couple of the grapplers had some bad experiences in one championship. And then so they re-signed, but now Marcelo just signed back with them. So ONE FC, like they lose one, but then they gain like an even bigger name, more massive competitor. So they're going to have like a super exciting high-level grappler. Okay, Marcelo Garcia competed against Aoki and ADC before, so they can do a rematch with Shinya Aoki. All right, he's going to be taking on the famous Eminari, okay? Eminari still signed to ONE FC. I think he fought Motomechi. He's fought a few guys in grappling. I've actually trained at Eminari's gym in Japan. I went to go visit Tokyo. Went to go train in Tokyo. I went to go corner a friend of mine in Tokyo for K1 Grand Prix fight. And our hotel was pretty close to Eminari's gym. So I was able to pop into Eminari's gym, do the 7 o'clock class. I got to roll with him for like 20 minutes. Got to roll with all his students. It was pretty amazing. This guy freaking straight ankle locked me. Caught me with some crazy ninja shit. But he's the one that started the 50-50, the Eminari roll, the famous in lock, the famous heel hook to the inverted inside heel hook, the inside ashigarami. It's actually a move that, with the roll to get into that, is a move that became very famous and popularized by Eminari. So he's going to be taking on it's going to be a Legends match. Marcelo Garcia taking on Eminari. Cannot wait for that one. And then, guys, guess what? The Rotello brothers are also signed to ONE Championship. So we might see a Rotello-Marcelo Garcia future matchup. Are you kidding me? Who is not down for Rotello versus Garcia? Welterweight, I think they compete the same weight class. They're going to be very similar. And it's completely opposite body frames, too. You got Marcelo Garcia, like short, stout, stocky, like an ape, Big legs, nothing crazy on the upper body. Taking on Rotello, long, lanky, both crazy pressure fighters, both amazing wrestlers. So, oh my gosh, that's going to be a matchup that's going to be very exciting to come up in the future, guys. I cannot wait for that one. That's going to be an absolute banger. So, anyways, guys, what else is going on, man? Merab Dvalishvili, okay? Miraj Dvalishvili taking on Umar. Guys, this is going to be a great, great fight. I just don't know if cardio is enough, because Merab, for once, is going up against a guy who's going to have as good wrestling, as good striking, maybe better, more dynamic, but more finishing capability, guys. So that's my issue with the Merab Dvalishvili taking on Umar Scraparuski, guys. We got a co-main event. UFC 311 is going to be a banger. The co-main event might be just as high level or as good as the main event. The bantamweights are throwing down. It's crazy, guys. We got a new era of bantamweight. It's amazing, because I was just recently watching a video earlier today on TJ Dillashaw, man. Old school highlight reel of TJ Dillashaw finishing everybody. It was a real finisher in the bantamweight division, dynamic striker, dynamic wrestler. And just, he got popped, though, so he ended up getting popped for PEDs. Really put a stain on his career, set him back. He tried to go down to 125, or he was already at 135. Injuries, getting popped, so he had a few little things that really worked against him, right? Made some bad decisions, but what's crazy? Peter Yan is still in the game, guys. That's a fight. I don't know if TJ is retired or what his deal is, but I remember just watching. That was one fight that we really never got to see in the bantamweight division, guys. Thinking about now, Umar, taking on Merab. Umar just have great striking, but I know his wrestling is so good that when he goes against a really, really high-level striker, he might just wrestle him, right? But that's a one fight in the bantamweight division, guys, that we never really got to see, right? Peter Yan versus TJ Dillashaw. The opportunity was there a few times if TJ could have got through Aljamain Sterling, but he ended up hurting his shoulder or taking that fight with like a completely ruined shoulder. So, anyways, guys, what else is going on? My damn light is killing me right now. I'm damn near going blind here. But, yeah, so we got Marcelo Garcia coming back in the grappling game. I'm pretty excited about that. And what's also very exciting about that one is Marcelo Garcia coming from a gym where He trains himself. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's better for an athlete to train at a big gym with high-level guys where iron sharpens iron? Or do you think it's better to train at a small gym where you have one or two guys who are the stars and the training camps are built around them, right? Both have their good and bad, right? So for both subjects, for both instances, they have their pros and their cons. For me as a coach now and as if I was a fighter starting over, what would I do? Would I start training at a super gym from the very beginning and swim with the sharks, sink or swim, right? You learn how to swim or you drowned? Or do you guys think it's better to develop your skill level in a smaller gym and build around there, have sparring partners? Both have their really big benefits, right? When you start off in a small gym and you're like the best guy or you're one of the most talented athletes, you're going to get a lot of individual attention from the coach and from other training partners as well. So maybe you have a training partner who's maybe not quite as good as you, but can hang with you and is just there. So maybe they're going to be able to, hold pass for you, have a drilling partner. You can do a lot of specific type of training, things specifically tailored to the needs that you want for that match, right? Specifically tailor the needs to you. That's one of the best things about fighting with a smaller gym, guys. You have a smaller gym, you can have the attention on you, and you're going to get a lot more attention from maybe the head coach. You might get a lot more pad work, a lot more individual rounds, and attention to detail, which in the beginning of a career is maybe one of the most important things. However, one of the things you might lack in a small gym in a local area, or maybe when a lot of people are not professionals or a lot of your training partners have regular jobs, is you might run out of a lack of training partners. So when you come from a small gym, the problem with that is sometimes you end up going to a gym, you go to sparring one day, and you got two guys and a girl there. You got one amateur, where you got one amateur your size, then you got one heavyweight who's never fought, and then you got two girls or something like this, right? Or you got anyways, that's the problem sometimes. Some days in training, nobody shows up, and then it's just you're stuck with you and the coach, and you're just getting beat up by your coach for 20 rounds, or vice versa. Or if your coach is a little older or something like this, and you're just beating up on him, and you don't get the different type of looks, right? So when you come from a smaller gym, you get the individual attention, you get the one-on-one, you get the attention to detail, but then you might lack sparring partners, you might lack competition feel, right? You might lack some of those things that weigh in on you when you're training that you get to see a lot more of when you're in a big camp. So that's when you think, oh, maybe I need to go to a big camp. When you go to a big camp, what do you get? You get probably a huge mirage. You probably get a huge variety of classes. You might be able to do a jiu-jitsu class at 12, a kickboxing class, a Muay Thai class. You can come back at night and do weight. You can do a strength and conditioning class at 5 p.m., right? You can do an evening Muay Thai class. So the good thing about that is if you have a busy schedule, or if your schedule is always changing, maybe one Monday and Tuesday you have one work schedule, or maybe Monday and Wednesday is one way, Tuesday and Thursday is the other way. When you come from a big gym, you can just wake up in the morning and whatever your schedule is, you can adjust it and go to the class that you need to go to, right? Where maybe you're in a smaller gym, it's kickboxing at 10:30 in the morning and no-gi at night. And those are your two classes. It's Monday. You got Monday kickboxing morning, Monday jiu-jitsu at night. And maybe you can't go to the morning classes, or maybe you're working at night, so you can't work on your jiu-jitsu because there's no jiu-jitsu in the morning, right? So that would be the causes. This is one of the things that happens to a lot of guys when they come from a smaller gym and they don't have the schedule availability, right? So that's one of the good things about coming from a big gym. You get a different variety of sparring partners, and also you never run out of sparring partners. There'll always be people there on the mat. And no matter what time you go to a big gym, one of those, I want to say factory gyms. They go to American Top Team, a Sanford, a Greg Jackson type facility, right? They're going to have classes at 7, classes at 8. You go to a Bang Tao or Tiger Muay Thai, right? You're going to have classes at 7, 8, 9, 10. They'll have fitness classes in the afternoon, right? The only problem with that is sometimes you can get lost in the sauce over there, right? When you're on a mat with 55, 60 guys, that's when the issue comes in, where you might get overlooked, right? If there's a lot of high-level, talented guys on the mat with really big fights, I'm sure the coach's priority is probably going to be on focusing on them rather than focusing on you, who has no fights and can barely move your feet properly, or you're still learning how to throw the 1-2, So that's going to be the situation that happens in big gyms a lot. You might get really fit and really tough and really durable, and your defense will be really good, but you're going to lack that attention to detail that at the high level, that's what really comes into play. So you got to take the good with the bad, guys. Like everything in life, everything has its pros and cons, right? In your life, you got to take the good with the bad. Sometimes things aren't always as it seems, right? You see an amazing gym with a beautiful facility and all these great things, but then maybe they don't have a camaraderie there, right? Maybe you go to a gym and everybody there is kind of like just training for themselves. Maybe you go on the mats, they got bad vibrations on the mats. You know, maybe you train with people. One of the problems is when you train with people you don't know, you can go hard and you can push yourself, but then sometimes people don't have your best interests at heart. So you can get hurt. They might try to go, a little bit of ego might kick in, and then they might try to, like, you know, maybe you got a fight coming up and this guy drops back for a super hard heel hook. You don't have time to tap. Now you popped your knee. You're competing in 3 days. You got tapped out by some random Russian guy. You don't even know his damn name, and you never see him again. So these are one of the things, guys, that you got to watch out for. So, chicka, get ready. I'm about to drop my gem of the day. So for the Honey Badger gem of the day, guys, my recommendation, because your boy's been around the block and knows a thing or two. If you want to go to a good gym, I would first build your skill level in a small gym. Make a strong base and a foundation. Find a style, stick with it, and master it. Find a game. And what I mean by find a game is don't try to learn everything in the first year, 2 years, all at once, okay? You want to learn the basics. You want to learn your 6 punches, okay? Your 5, 6 different kicks. And honestly, in the beginning, you might only have like 3 or 4 different variety of kicks, okay, between your teeps, your roundhouses, your knees, all right? You get really, really good, fundamentally sound base, okay? And then you build a style. You got to build a game. And what I mean by game is you build a route of moves that you can do that always leads you to a path to success. Meaning a combination that you know you can land on a low-level guy to a high-level guy, and that can always bail you out. And then you want to have like a little system like that, right? So you say, okay, I know I'm going to feint and throw the jab. Feint, throw the 1-2, and then I'm just going to throw the 1-2 right down the middle without the feint. So get the guy used to the feint. Maybe that can be one of your little chains of attack, okay? Whether you're a grappler or wrestler, you want to find a submission series or a takedown chain series, right? Because in takedowns, you can know 1 or 2 takedowns. You want to be able to, the success for takedowns is being able to put them together, right? So the more options you have to transition to, it's usually going to be the guy who wins, right? Same thing in jiu-jitsu. Whoever knows more moves is probably going to get there. So if the guy knows a counter to A, you can go to B. If the guy knows a counter to B, you can go to C, and you can go all the way down to Z and back. And it's going to be the same way with wrestling, right? You want to, so find find a game that fits you. Like for me, I found my Kimura game. That's my jiu-jitsu game. Most of my game is based around my Kimura. But for my first 2, 3, 4 years, I honed in on getting a really nasty Kimura game. And now from there, I can branch out and work on other parts of my game. But I always have that little piece. I always have that tool in my pocket that I can utilize at any time. And then while I have that to get me out of the rough spots, then when I go and work my other game, I can start to build other little tools. And that's just having more tools, right? And the best guys in the world have the most tools, right? So my recommendations, start with a small gym, build your game, acquire your tool set, build a skill set, make your base, and then when you're ready and you have a fight, then you can maybe start to venture off and you can do like some cross training. Then you go to a big gym a month or 2 before your fight and you can get some sparring in there, get some rounds with different people, different looks. Okay, then you can try to get a feel for different styles. Because sometimes when you train with the same 5 or 6 people all the time, you guys know each other's game, and then it becomes harder to get each other because you kind of you subliminally already kind of know what's happening, like body mechanics. You know, you have your muscle memory, right? So after you guys train with each other a lot, you build the muscle memory, so you kind of build instant reactions to each other's moves. So that's what's good about going to a big gym. You get different guys. You get people you never gone with before. You can try out the Sambo style. You can go against the wrestler style. You can go against the D1 wrestler guy who just wants to hold you down. You can go against the jiu-jitsu guy who's trying to pull you into his guard. You go to Sambo guy who's trying to like do some leg locks or do some throws on you. You can go judo guys, strikers, and start to apply your game in all different routes. So if I was you guys, that's what I'd recommend. You start off in a small gym. You build your base. You have your community, you have the people there that work around you, and then you can go and venture off once you get a competent skill set. And the one thing about training in a big gym is, guys, you have to be very disciplined, because one thing is, when you don't have a coach looking over you or somebody who's like specifically planning everything for you, then it's on you, the athlete, to take care of your own training. And for that, you have to be extra disciplined and extra smart, because you have to know when to pull and when to push. And that's where the tricky part becomes for a lot of athletes, right? This is why some guys just like to be on cruise control, and they get a coach, and the coaches just run their career and tell them what to do, and tell them, so they don't even have to think. All they got to do is sleep and train, like Khabib. That's how Khabib did with his dad, right? Khabib started in Dagestan for the first 15 years of his career, training with his dad since he was 5 years old. And then he was like 22, 23. I think he got a visa to America. So from 5 to 23, Khabib learned from his dad. He learned his base. That's what the theory that I'm talking about, guys. When I say from start in one place, build your base, and then you go, right? Khabib was trained by his dad. He has his coach. He has his mindset. But everything, so then when he goes to AKA, he's already fully locked in. He's locked in and he's ready to go. And now he can just get even better, because he has all the things he already knows, and he can learn from Javier Mendez on how to strike and get his striking on point, get his jiu-jitsu on point, get his American wrestling on point, working with Daniel Cormier and learning like that. So, but then he gets all the different sparring partners. He can train with all the best guys in the world, from the 205-pound champs to the middleweight champs, and really hone in on his skill set. And that's kind of like that's kind of like the GOAT recipe right there, guys. Bam, bam, bam. Your boy was cooking. That's how you want to become the best. Find a coach, get a mentor. You go one-man solo team, and you guys just go together and travel the world and scrap. That's how Valentina does it also. Valentina has her main coach, Pavel, and then he'll just take her to Tiger. He'll organize her camps, and she just trains. That's how Khabib does it too. Khabib says he has a lot of videos where he talks about it. He's like, yo, you want to be the best in the world? You want to be the champion? He's like, yo, after training, you got to go to sleep. That's all you should be doing. Sleep, train, eat, recover. And he said, that's what you should be doing. Train, sleep, recover. And he says the best way to recover is to sleep. So, of course, you're going to have be able to have the financial capability to do that, right? Not everybody. Some guys are working full-time jobs still. Pantoja was driving Uber, fighting in the UFC, about to fight for a world title. Just a year or two before fighting for the world title, Pantoja was driving Uber. So not everybody is fortunate to have those pleasures in life, right? So obviously, when we write the perfect blueprint, we're writing that with no rules, just right. So if you had unlimited resources, untapped potential, that's what I'm saying. Now, is it the only way? No, for sure not, right? I mean, Alex Volkanovski was a concreter fighting full-time, fighting in the UFC when his daughter was pregnant, and then ended up becoming the UFC featherweight champion, and ended up becoming one of the greatest featherweights of all time. So, and he was a concreter just 5 years prior. So, like we were saying before, guys, there's 1,000 ways to skin the cat. But anyways, guys, it's 2025. I'm ready to go, all right? Day one. We are dropping of the year, and we got an episode of the Honey Badger Hour out for my gente, for my peoples, for my players and pimps on these streets. Excuse me. If you guys haven't seen, I'm rocking the trademark Honey Badger cap throwback. Okay, this was my walkout cap for my last 10 fights. Okay, when I put this hat on, I knew that I became a different man. This was the transformation, guys. When I put this hat on, any doubt. And when I would be backstage, I would take a shower, or I'll come to the venue, I'll go to the bathroom, I'll do my little prayers, and when I put this hat on, that's when your gloves are on, the tape is wrapped, there's no more turning back, the cup is tied, and I just know all the fear, all the anxiety is gone. When this hat comes on, the motherfucking animal came out. So guys, it's good to be back with the hat, bringing something new to the pod. Appreciate the love and support, guys. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe. Today is Wednesday, January 1st. We're coming at you hot. All right, we got a lot of big things coming up this year. I'm looking for some comedy shows. Got the comedy keep on going. We're on the road to greatness, all right? Going to be competing in January 25th. I got a couple of matches coming up, so cannot wait, guys. Remember, guys, if it's 2025, whether you're doing bad or whether you're doing good, great time to turn it all around. This is the part of the movie where everything sucks. You wake up, you light a cigarette, you got a hangover, you don't know what happened, you got a headache, the windows in your car are busted, you all don't know where you are, you're all confused. Now this is the part of the movie where, hey, we get it back together. You light the cigarette, you get in the car, and then the sun rises, all right, guys? So let's get this money. All the best, positivity. If we're down, It's the perfect time to come back up. After the darkest night, always comes the brightest day. All right? And if you're doing good, if this was an amazing year, then this is the time to keep the momentum going. Leveling up every day, baby. Little by slowly. Not to get all motivational and gay, guys, but we're a little bit rifting here. I'm excited for 2025. All right? We could have a new heavyweight champion. We're looking at John Jones, Tom Espinal. All right? We're looking at Marab versus Umar. Okay, potential with a Peter Yan and the potential again for a title. We got the return of Alexander Volkanovski after a rough 2024, after finishing 2023 as the pound-for-pound #1 ranked fighter. We're coming into 2025, turning a new leaf. Don't sleep on my boy Volk. We're still coming for that. Ilia Topuria, you ain't safe out there on these streets, Papa. I'm telling you right now, you still got a demon and Volk to deal with. Lightning don't strike twice. If you can do it again, I'll give you your props. I ain't no hater. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I try to be as unbiased as possible, but I still believe in my boy. I think he's the greatest ever, and I know he's got what it takes to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Honey Badger Hour, we are out. Happy New Year's. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. God bless you all. And for 2025, remember, train hard, always do your best, and let God do the rest. Let's go!